Parks Racetrack and Casino in Bensalem, PA, on what has been regarded as the biggest day in Pennsylvania horse racing history. In front of a record crowd, the sport's brightest star performs today. Kentucky Derby Preakness champ California Chrome, racing for the first time since suffering defeat on the biggest stage the sport has to offer.
For more on California Chrome's competition today, let's check in with Joe Kristufek.
Well, thank you, Maggie. Tapiture lost by 17.5 lengths to California Chrome in the Kentucky Derby, but he's won 2 graded stakes since then, both since adding Rosie Napravnik as the jockey. Now, both Tapiture and Untappable, who also is ridden by Rosie, summered at Saratoga, and it was kind of a working vacation. Neither one of them raced there. They cleared their minds, and they have a fresh attitude going into the second half of their racing season. If Rosie Napravnik becomes the first jockey to win both the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby, she may be doing a tap dance of her own right here in the winner's circle. Lafitte and Dick, back to you.
Results in Untappable, $3, $2.40, $2.10. We check in with Joe Kristufek, standing by with ring trainer Steve Asmussen.
Well, thanks, Lafitte. I do have Steve Asmussen here, his second Cotillion win in the last 3 years. Mine was really in 2012. And Steve, did you feel like after she ran last time in the Haskell that you had to kind of prove with her again how dominant she could be against her own set?
Well, I'm just awfully glad with her race today. Watching the races earlier, speed's been holding pretty good. Rosie used a little of her to stay fairly close to a fast pace, and awfully happy to see her back in the winner's circle.
Now, she has a tremendous resume. If things fall your way and she goes to the distaff and she were to win the distaff and other horses that are in contention for Horse of the Year don't do what they're supposed to do, you can make a case for her as Horse of the Year.
Well, as you mentioned, the distaff, very tall order. Close Hatch is a very promising mare this year. We need to, get her out to California and get ready for that.
Okay, now Tapiture, what are your feelings about him going into the Pennsylvania Derby? He's on a roll, could be 3 in a row.
Well, absolutely. He's doing really well coming into this race. Tall order for him. Speed's holding pretty good today. We'll see if he can catch anybody.
We wish you all the best of luck in the Pennsylvania Derby. Congratulations. Trainer Steve Asmussen with Untappable. Tapiture coming up next in the Pennsylvania Derby, guys. And I've got Rosie here as well. Rosie, you couldn't have drawn that up any better.
Yeah, it set up well. The 2 horses in front actually were getting in a little bit of a fight around the first turn, so I just kind of sat chilly with her and let her move when we were ready. And the track's very speedy today, so to make up ground is definitely a good feat, and she's just all class and showed herself today.
Is she as good as she's ever been moving forward into a race like the distaff?
She's run great. She's been training great, so no reason for her not to move forward again for the next race.
Tapiture coming up.
I really love him after the West Virginia Derby. I mean, that was a really spectacular race for him. I didn't do many favors by giving him an easy trip that day, so hopefully we can get a little bit of a better trip today, and he can really run well again.
Thanks, Rosie.
Thank you.
Couldn't have got a better trip than she got in the Cotillion with the winner Untappable. Tapiture coming up next, taking on California Chrome, guys.
There is Chrome. Arrives here having banked more than $3.5 million, an 8-time winner, his only loss this year in the Belmont Stakes. Otherwise, 5 graded stakes victories. As we check in with Joe Kristufek standing by.
That California Chrome would not even be here at Parks if it wasn't for cooperation between the horsemen, the Pennsylvania Thoroughbreds Horsemen's Association, and also, of course, the track itself. And I'm joined by the president of the PTHA, Sal DeBunda. And Sal, let's talk about how this came about. How did we get California Chrome here? How did we get Untappable here? It's a phenomenal day at Parks.
It really started 10 years ago when Smarty Jones helped us through the legislature to get the slot money to be part of our purses. We then worked with our purses and management to really look forward to this kind of day. Moving it helped us, and it really is just a great day for Parks racing.
Now, we all know that there's a casino here, but look around this place. I mean, this is all about the horse racing. You're involved on the promotion side. You're a horse owner yourself. You've been invested in this game in Pennsylvania for a long, long time. This has got to make you feel good, buddy.
30 years I've been involved, and it's really just a great day, and it's just great to see all these people, and a lot of them are new people. Hope they love the experience, and they come out and see us real soon.
Pennsylvania bred program on the upswing, arrows pointing up.
Yes, that's definitely. When we got the slots bill, we basically, if you're a PA bred here, you get like the horse that won the Gallant Bob will get $180,000, but he's going to get another $32,000, $36,000 for winning that race. So Paul Conaway did okay today as a PA bred.
Yes, he certainly has, and the Pennsylvania breds all over parks today, enjoying the afternoon. The Pennsylvania Derby is still to come.
California Chrome, he'll be paraded in front of the grandstand coming up shortly. He is 3-5 in odds-on favorite as we now check in with Joe.
Thanks, Lafitte. It's been a long and winding road for California Chrome and his connections, from the Kentucky Derby preps to the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont, and now here to Parks 100 days after his last race. Let's find out what was up with California Chrome earlier in the year with his connection and the racehorse himself.
There is a gathering of tension around every Triple Crown bid. And that was the case again on the first Saturday in June when the nation watched California Chrome in the Belmont Stakes.
Commissioner, California Chrome on the outside. Tonalist, Commissioner. It won't be a Triple Crown this year. It's going to be close.
It turned out to be yet another disappointment to American racing and sports fans. Just as the previous 36 years, there would be no Triple Crown winner. The burden fell hardest not on trainer Art Sherman or jockey Victor Espinoza, but on co-owner Steve Coburn, who, while interviewed live by NBC Sports after the race, expressed frustration and anger at the rules of entry for the Belmont Stakes.
It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Because this is not fair to these horses that have been running their guts out for these people and for the people that believe in them. For have somebody to come up like this is a coward's way out, in my opinion. This is a coward's way out.
It was a moment that Coburn regrets.
I would have gone and taken numerous deep breaths and congratulated the winners. You know, that was the right thing to do. But you know, at the time, the emotions and the adrenaline and the Triple Crown that didn't happen that I wanted so bad for the people in the horse racing industry, it didn't happen. And but you know, that's the way it goes. And that's behind me now. You know, this is his first race back, fresh start, and we'll take it one race at a time from here.
Where you find great horses, you usually find great trainers, and today is no exception. Art Sherman has spent the last 60 years working with racehorses. He was the stable hand for 1955 Kentucky Derby winner Swaps, and 59 years later, he feels blessed to have his horse of a lifetime. If racing is the sport of kings, Sherman is philosophical about missing the chance to claim the throne of king of the sport, which a Belmont win would have brought.
He had 6 great races and had not a straw in his path, so you knew you were due for some bad luck somewhere down the line. It never, you know, you hate to think about it, but it does happen a lot in this game. Racing luck means a big part.
California Chrome arrived at Parks on Tuesday after a flight from California, where he did most of his serious preparation for this race.
He's doing good, he's eating good, he looks good, he's holding his flesh good, but there's nothing like running, you know what I mean? Sometimes as a trainer you think, well, did I do enough to him? Did I crank him down hard enough? But, you know, I'm not going to worry about that. He has plenty of air in him. When I worked him the last time, Victor was all pumped up. He said this is the best that he's ever been since I've been on him. So that made me feel good.
Welcome back to the 2014 Pennsylvania Derby. I'm here with one of the owners of a top contender, Bayern. We have Kaleem Saw. And Kaleem, your company specializes in intelligence. I want the scoop. Are we going to see the Bayern from the Haskell, or are we going to see the Bayern from the Travers, who wasn't so good?
He has worked very well coming into this race. You know, he worked in a similar manner like he did for the Haskell. So we're very hopeful. We recognize it's a tough field out there with California Chrome, Tapiture, Candy Boy, and a few others. But we're hopeful, like, you know, he'll run a very good race today.
You're going to reveal your plan of attack?
And, you know, it's up to the Martin. Like, you know, he has to play the break and see, you know, what he gets. And, you know, hopefully, like, you know, if he brings his Haskell game on, like, you know, hopefully he should be tough.
And the speed has been good today. It's been playing potentially in your favor with the kind of horse that you have. You have to be happy with the way the races have played so far.
Yes, we are, like, you know, so, but once again, we respect the competition. The competition is steep. So beating the Derby winner and the Preakness winner is, you know, is no easy task. So we are hopeful that Bayern can, you know, give a good account of himself today.
Well, Bayern is named for a championship soccer team in Germany, his favorite soccer team. We'll see if Bayern is on the ball for the Pennsylvania Derby.
So California Chrome defeated this afternoon. Byron going wire to wire in this 36th Grade 2 Pennsylvania Derby, adding to his riches what a season he has had, having won the Haskell and now the Pennsylvania Derby as we check in with Joe.
Yes, I have the very happy winning connections down here, Lafitte. We're going to start with jockey Martin Garcia, and you walked the dog on the front end. Did you see how the track had been playing all day? And when you put up that first fraction and your horse was relaxed, you had to feel pretty good about your chances.
Well, I think since that I see the form, I was 85. The fractions, I just let him break, and then he take easy lead, and then I take advantage, and then when I ask him to go, he just take off.
Now, this horse has obviously had some really good races, and he's thrown in a couple of clunkers, too. He was at his best today. What's the difference between him and when he doesn't run so well for you?
I don't know. Just the last time he didn't like the track or something, but today he liked the track.
All right, we're going to go to Kaleem next, and we talked to you right before the race, and you seem confident, but at the same time, you know what can happen with this horse. Today, he was at his absolute best.
A lot of kudos, first and foremost, to Bob Baffert, Jimmy Barnes, and Mike Marlowe. The Baffert team, they do an incredible job, so kudos to them, and certainly, like I told you before, Byron had worked very well, and Bob and Jimmy had seen, what he had done in his workout, so that gave us a lot of confidence. I think the Travers, he had a legitimate excuse, given the fact he did not like the track. Martin said in the first half a mile or so, he just felt very uncomfortable, so today he showed up.
Well, Jimmy, I'm going to ask you the question, and congratulations. This is the first training win in this race for Bob Baffert. This horse is really good, 1 1/8 or so. You've got the Breeders' Cup coming up. Does it make you think about the Classic, being that it's at Santa Anita, or is this horse maybe better at the dirt mile kind of distance? Is that something that's even crossed your guys' mind?
This is something we'll just enjoy this race, and Bob and Kaleem will get together and decide where Byron will start next. But yeah, those races have all come into mind,
Well, the boss isn't here.
No, the boss is at home. He's watching at home, very happy. Called me immediately afterwards, and just thrilled that Byron showed up today.
Well, if we had an iPhone, we could do some FaceTime, but he can see you right now. What do you have to say to him?
Bob, we got it done.
They certainly did. Congratulations to the winning connections of the 2014 Pennsylvania Derby. We're going to throw it back to Lafitte and Dick for more reaction on what was an interesting race, to say the least.
All right, Joe. Dead heat for fourth we're seeing between Noble Moon. We'll have those results when we come back. Bob Baffert's won 3 Kentucky Derbies, now a Pennsylvania Derby winning trainer. Byron, wire to wire. Stay tuned. The Pennsylvania Derby, where Byron roped like a rocket, establishing the pace early on. A very still Martin Garcia dictating things throughout, dawdling fractions throughout, in complete command. And when Martin Garcia asked him for his best, the response, devastating. Pouring it on late, Byron victorious, California Chrome defeated in his comeback in today's Pennsylvania Derby. Thanks for joining us. See you next time, everyone.